Hi, this is Russ Watts with Lagler North America. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that we encounter from time to time, and that is the flip corner attachment VFR rings, often called the donuts. Sometimes guys don't get as much life out of these as they would like to, so there are a few pointers that we have for you to get the very most life out of your VFR rings for the flip corner attachment. The first thing to bear in mind is that this flip corner attachment is spinning very fast. It's spinning more than double the speed of your 6-inch disc. So with that is going to get a lot of heat. And the heat that you can get can really damage the materials on these VFR rings. So we want to come up with ways of preserving the life. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into the practice of when we're ready to change out the paper on these VFR rings, we want to avoid pulling the spent disc off of the VFR ring while it is hot. We want it to allow it to cool. When it's hot and you pull it apart, that's when these glues inside of here, the adhesives that hold this together, they're more vulnerable to being pulled apart. So keeping this cool is key. How do we do that? How do we get in the habit of doing that? We simply preload several VFR rings and fresh papers, have them ready to go, put them in our pocket, and when it's time to change it out, we simply pull the entire piece off, allow that to cool somewhere, pull one of these out of our pocket that's preloaded with your disc, and change it out that way. That way we avoid peeling the hot paper off of the hot VFR ring and damaging it. The next thing we want to do to help preserve the life of these VFR rings is to select a wheel setting that is going to be the least aggressive. Remember, this disc spins at 7,750 RPMs. It's really moving. So if we have these wheels propped up high and we're getting more aggressive, that's going to create more heat. So as the manufacturer recommends, we use the short setting on our T-handle here. And it even says so on the corner attachment. So use that as your very most aggressive setting. One thing that some guys do, even if they still get too much heat, is what we call the T25 setting. What the T25 setting is the diameter of this T25 Torx shaft, and we simply put that into the gap here and bring that down even more to where it fits the T25. Do that on both sides. That way you're being even more gentle. On these corner discs, and the heat factor's cut down. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to sand with this in the corners. We're going to go, instead of going from left to right like we normally do with an edger, we're going to go from right to left. And we will demonstrate that in the field here in a minute, why that is important to do it that way. And then finally, the last thing, the last tip, let the machine do the work. If you try and muscle it and really grind and carve away with such a small disc, you're going to add a lot of heat to that in a hurry. So please remember, let the machine do the work. Okay, so now we're going to sand a corner here with the flip corner attachment. And as we discussed a little bit earlier, we mentioned it is better to go from right to left instead of left to right. The reason why we do that is there's less of a tendency when you're coming in from the right to the left for that VFR ring to grab the wall and get thrown. It's the incidence of that happening is a whole lot less when you're going from right to left as opposed to left to right. It also leaves a little bit better scratch pattern in there as well. So we're going to turn it on and we're going to show you real quick just how we do it. Of course, it's important to let the machine do the work. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any video ideas for the future, please let us know in the comment section.